Okay, so we have results, everyone. All right, so it gives us the Exorcist. I've heard of this movie, Charlie. You guys should be watching horror movies, by the way. It's well, personally, I think it's not good to be watching horror movies and just making yourself scared. But yeah, we now have a AI movie night recommendation system. Assuming the TMDB didn't have the images, so we didn't get that. That's fine. So we have the AI's take on it. We have the summary. Yeah, so this is what we have. Simple, no code, just using AI to prompt. We use Gemini, we use Lovable, and we use Cloud Code. Hello, guys. All right, so today we are going to do something new. We are going to build an AI movie night recommendation website or platform. Yeah, we're going to vibe code it. We're not going to use any coding knowledge at all. We're just going to vibe code everything. Would use Lovable, would use Cloud Code, would use Gemini. Yeah, so stay tuned. Let's get into it. Hello guys, so as I mentioned, we are coming to create a movie nights recommendation system or a movie nights movie recommendation website. So with this, we're going to use a couple of AI tools. We're going to use Gemini for the actual recommendation to actually go into the internet and search for the movies based on our request. We're going to use Lovable to create the UI, or should I say basically just the front end, and we are going to use Claude Code to do the main meat of the whole application. So mind you, this is not something I've already done that I'm now coming to redo for us to see how it's going to be built. But it's something I'm doing from scratch. So let's all learn together. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. I'll do all to answer them. Also, if we get to any bug, yeah, we'll see how we can solve it. This is purely vibe coding. We are going to hardly touch any code, maybe here and there, but hardly touch any code. All right, let's get into it. All right, so if you already don't have a Lovable account, please do get a Lovable account and log in. So let me log out. So when you come to lovable.dev, this is what you should see. Yeah, so Lovable is a very good AI platform for building applications, both front end and back end. That's if you go for the paid version. But usually, if you want just front end stuff, you can stick with the free. Then you get very nice front end things. Even though there are limitations here and there, but it can do some really nice things. All right. So since I already have an account, I'm going to log in. But if you don't have an account, you click get started. Then you continue from there. All right. So here we are in Lovable. And these are a few projects I've used Lovable to do. Yeah, as you can see, it's very versatile and you can use it in free mode. You don't have to actually pay for anything. The only AI I'm using that is paid for is Claude Code. And you can use any other free AI tool you know of, maybe Kesa or something. And I think you should still be fine. Yeah, but because I already have a Claude Code subscription, so that's what I'm going to be using. But yeah, any AI tool that helps you in coding that you already have or that is free that still works for you. Yeah, that should still work. So what do we want to do? So we want to build a movie night movie recommendation system. So now we know that we can't just tell the AI that we want that, so you should build it for us. We have to be a bit more specific. So instead of we racking our brains to come up with the right prompt, we could even ask the AI to help us with the prompt to then prompt it. Get my point? So let's move to Gemini. Again, if you don't have a Gemini account, once you have an email, you should have a Gemini account. So just go to gemini.google.com/app and you should be fine. Yeah, so what do we want to do? We want to build a movie night recommendation website. All right, so let's see how the prompt will go. All right, so that took me a bit of a while, but we now have a prompt in Gemini to get a better prompt to put into Lovable. So this is it. I want to build a simple movie nights recommendation platform. Help me refine the prompt below to be inputted in Lovable to get the UI slash front end of the application. I will use Claude Code to do the rest. So this is the prompts that I wanted to refine and expand on. I want you to build a very beautiful and simple movie night recommendation website with Next.js and Tailwind CSS. The application should use TypeScript. I want an input field where I describe the type of movies I want. Then Gemini would go on the internet and come back with well formatted movie recommendation cards with movie title, image, if possible, genre, description, and any relevant information. Now help me with a better prompt I can use in Lovable. Make it as detailed as possible. Ask me any questions if you need clarification. Eesh, if I can spell clarification. Before you begin. So this is something I usually end with when I'm speaking with AI to ask me questions if it's not sure of something so that it doesn't hallucinate. Yeah, so let's see what it does. This is not something I've done already that we are redoing. It's something we are doing from scratch together. All right, so let's see. Okay, so it seems to be done. It didn't ask me any questions though. So it said to get the best results from Lovable, your prompt needs to shift from high level description to a structured architectural blueprint. Okay. So the optimized prompt for Lovable. Build a modern minimalist movie recommendation web application using Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and TypeScript. The application should have a clean dark mode aesthetic with a focus on usability and fast performance. Core components and layouts, header, clean, centered branding area. Hero section includes a large, prominent text. This is really detailed actually. So you see one of the benefits of using AI to get you better prompts because some of these things either they wouldn't come to you immediately or it will take some time to get well-defined prompts. You have to cycle through quite a bit. But when you use AI to get you this kind of prompts, it gets you good prompts quickly. So let's go through it a bit. Search experience. As the user types their request, show a loading state, a subtle shimmer, or animated progress bar. That explains the AI is searching for the perfect vibe. Results section, a responsive grid layout that displays movie recommendation cards. Card design, each card must feature a placeholder image container optimized for future API integration. This is quite detailed, actually. I'm actually impressed because this is not something that again, that I've done already, but it's something that we are all doing together for the first time. So each card must feature a movie title, genre, short description, a watch. Oh, okay. Technical requirements. Use Radix UI. Okay. Implement Lucid React. Ensure the UI is fully responsive. Good. The structure should be modular, making it easy for me to later inject the Gemini. Okay. Please include a recent search. Okay. Design philosophy. Think Apple-esque minimalism. Hmm. Plenty of white neutral space. Okay, I like that. Transition use streamer motion if possible. Okay. Why this works? Structure guidance by okay. Oh, okay. So looking at this, wait, before I finalize this, okay, could you clarify a few details? Okay, interaction flow. Do you want the results to replace the search bar, or should the user be able to see their search input at the top while the results grid populates below? Okay, so I think that would be good for the user to see their results, their search while the results are below. Okay, the second one was platform view. Do you envision this as a one-off search tool, or should there be a persistent my watch list feature where users can save recommendations? Okay, this will mean a database kind of stuff, but for now, let's just keep it as a one-off thing. Later, we'll expand on it. What do you think? Hmm. Should we get a database? Okay, I want to keep this very simple, so let's make it a one-off thing. Later, we can expand on it. Search inputs. Should the input area be a simple text box, or would you prefer a chat-like interface where The conversation history remains visible. Hmm. Simple text box. Sorry, simple input area. Simple input area. Okay, so we have this. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it refined the prompt once more. Pro tip for your flow. Since you're using Claude Code to handle the backend, when you move the integration phase, ask Claude to create a new service file that maps Gemini response to the existing movie card prop structure. This will ensure you don't have to rewrite your front-end components just to match the data schema. Okay, so something like this, we can even just copy this into Claude and do the rest. Would you like me to help you draft the initial Gemini prompt structure? Okay, nope, that's fine. We'll use Claude Code to do the rest. We could have used Claude Code to actually do all these things, but I just want us to see how we can use different AIs to come together to do something really cool. Okay, so let's copy this. So it's from here all the way to, yeah. So we have this. So also note that Laravel's free version has some limits. So I don't know how many times we can prompt this for us to reach our limits, but if we do reach our limits, we will continue with the Cloud Code like that. So no worries. So let's just paste that. Also, your prompt may be different because AI doesn't always return the same thing to everyone, even with the same question. So yeah, whatever it gets, let's just paste it there and see what we get. Okay, Lovable is cooking. For me to take a couple of minutes, but for you, I'm sure to take a couple of seconds, give or take. All right. So Lovable has done some cooking, and wow. Okay. So let's see what we have. What should we watch? Okay, describe a mood or memory or vibe. Gets curated set of films back. Okay, this is looking good actually. Something like this will take you a couple of hours to build, but they build this in what? How many minutes? It will take like two, no, not two. It will take like 3, 4 minutes, and this was done. Okay, comments. Okay, I think this is cool. Let's see which other page it has. Okay, just the home page. That's fine. Um, Yeah. So something like this. Now that we've done this, you can port this to your GitHub. Then from there you pull the code and connect it to your Cloud Code. Then you can continue from there. So let's do that and see how it is going to be. Also on Lovable, you can see the preview. This side is for when you create files. I don't think I've even come here before. Yeah, so you can also see the code structure. You can go through it, the routes, the stuff. Yeah, so it's like a full scaffold of your whole application. Um, yeah, so these are more stuff you want to add to it, more specifically like backend related stuff. But in our case, we will use Cloud Code for that. Going to upgrade, then hmm, okay. So GitHub, yeah, then connect. All right, so now it has created this GitHub repository for us. So if we go there, because I'm already logged into my GitHub, so to just open. So yes, we have this GitHub repository. It did everything for us. After creating a front end, it created a repository for us and it pushed all the code. So we have all the code there. And don't worry about these stuff, these 2 years ago stuff. Those are like the basic templates, and most of its changes are in these ones. Yeah, so that's what we have for now. Let's connect this to, or let's pull this to our local machine so that we can connect it to our cloud code and get cooking with it. All right. All right, so now we have the GitHub accounts on our local machine. So now we can connect to it using Cloud Code. So I have the Cloud desktop, so I'll prefer to use that over the terminal Cloud Code, but I can use any. All right, so I went ahead to rename the folder. So it's now called Moving Edge Recommendation. So yeah, we have it in our Cloud Code now, or we have Cloud Code listening to that. So let's let Cloud Code set it up. So this is cooking in the background. It's installing the dependencies. I mean, we could have done this ourselves by navigating into the repo and just doing npmi, but yeah, we want to show how we can use vibe coding to get everything done without actually even going to the code or barely going to the code, if you get my point. Yeah, so as is doing this, if you vibe coded before, let me know your experiences. How did you find it? If this is the first time you are seeing something like this, welcome to the world of vibe coding. The way the software engineering space is going right now, we are kind of shifting away from coding ourselves, but now focusing on the architecture and the actual logic behind things instead of manually writing the code ourselves. Now, with how has advanced, we are now focusing more on using AI to write the code and not we're writing it ourselves. Yeah. All right. So you said it installed everything. We can run npm run dev. All right. So let's just open the code to see how everything came out. Yeah. So let me just open it here. I told you I renamed it to movie night recommendation something. Okay, so we have the project opened. It installed the dependencies. We currently don't have any environment variables or things like that. If you remember from Gemini, it gave us some instructions to tell Claude, so we could go copy those instructions now. So there were some instructions below. Yeah, pro tip for a workflow since you're using Cloud Code. Yeah. So let's copy this and drop it right into Cloud Code. And let's give it some kind of context. So let's just give it more context of what we actually want it to do for us in this project. But before that, let's look at how the thing looks like on our desktop. Yeah, so this is what we have. And if you look at what we had from Lovable, it's basically the same thing. Not basically, it's exactly the same thing. So yes, we have that on our local machine. So we could have even you can so we have that on our local machine. So we can even launch this by putting it on Vessel or any other hosting platform, and yeah, we are good. But we have to add the backend side or the AI side of it. We can't just send this out like that. So yeah, looks good. Let me try resizing. It looks good. It looks good. So let's give context to Cloud Code so it can build the rest of the features. You know what? Let me even give it the same um, prompt that I gave to Lovable, so that to have the full context of everything. Sorry, this prompt instead, not the one I gave to Lovable, but the one I gave to Gemini. All right, so now we've pasted that our prompt, and we've also asked it as usual to ask clarifying questions before continuing, so that we don't hit any kind of hallucinations or kind of guessing from the AI. So let's see what it gives us. Okay, it has a clear picture. Here's what Lovable has built and what's left. The dark mode stuff, movie, what, turn stack, okay. Not next JS plus beats. Okay, doesn't really matter as long as it's working. What's missing? The integration layer, a real API, Gemini API key calling this, okay. The server side API routes, the mapper, the movie poster images. Yeah, Gemini doesn't save images. Needs a secondary source like TMDB or just omits. Okay, we may have to get their API key. So before it proceeds, these are a few questions. The Gemini API key, do we already have one? Yeah, we can just get one from AI Studio. Movie images. Gemini can't return poster images directly, so these are the options. So either we skip the images and use the film icon placeholder that's already styled. Okay. I think we can still get this API key and post it. Then if that API service doesn't have the image, it should then default to the placeholder icon. Framework note, this project is Stack Stats Vite based, not Next.js. The UI is already built and looks great. Do you want me to continue Stack Stats faster? I actually don't mind, it's fine. Yeah, so let's start answering the questions. So the first one, we have our Gemini API key, or we can get the Gemini API key. So question 4, you mentioned Gemini should go on the internet. That requires Gemini Google search grounding feature. Should I enable it? It makes recommendations more current, accurate, but costs slightly more per call. I want to use a free service, so let's ask it what it suggests. All right, so we've given it back the response. So let's see what it gives back to us. If you notice here, we asked it what it suggests. I should have used the question mark, but let's talk before you implement so that it doesn't just jump into implementing anything. Okay, so we said Google Search Grounding is available in the free tier, yada yada. Okay, strict limits and add latency. Okay, I mean it's free, so we expect things like that. Gemini's training data is enormous when it comes to film. It knows thousands of movies. That's good. They're generous plot, tones, vibes extremely well. Okay. Grounding would only help for very recent releases, last few months, for 99% of what a user will ask. Cozy 90s comedies, mind bending sci fi, what. Gemini's knowledge already excellent. All right. So, the recommendation, skip grounding, use structured JSON output instead. Okay. Okay, that's fine as long as we get a thing to work. Model 2.5.0 Flash, fastest free, that's fine. Two things to align before I build. Number of results. The UI currently skeleton 6 cards. Keep it at 6 or do you want it configurable? TMDB fallback. If TMDB finds no poster, the film icon placeholder is already the movie card. Should there be more info icon? So more info link on each card go to TMDB movie page or just okay, so with the more info, currently I don't think we need more info. I think the description should be well enough, or if the description is too long. Oh, what do you think? Do you think okay, for now let's just make the more info have more text information about the movie. Maybe what Gemini thinks about it and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get on to answering. Also, for the number of results, I think let's go with I want a lot so that we can actually take your time to scroll through and make wise decisions, and that will be enough time for me any rate limits to also have elapsed, like in case you want to make another search. So let me ask it to give us 50. If 50 is too much for the limit on the free, then it should give us the maximum that it can actually give us. Yep, so let me just tell it that. All right, so we have our prompt now. Let me see. Are we missing anything? Okay, so that's what we have. Let me ask it if we are missing anything. All right, so we've sent that prompt. So let's wait for it to get back to us. So you see how now AI has made software engineering Very interesting. You don't have to chew any. You have to actually, but you can get away with not knowing a lot of things. But the downside here too, it could make you kind of lazy. You wouldn't want to learn. But we'll talk about that in another video. Okay, it has got back to us. Let's see what it says. On 50 movies, Gemini 2.0 flash free tier can retain 50 movies in a single. Okay, no problem. Token wise. Concern is UX 50 cars in a grid. It's a long scroll. Suggest returning all 50 but rendering them in batches. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Keeps the page fast and less overwhelming. Agree? Sure. So on the more info pop-up, two options. Option A, on demand, click. More info triggers second Gemini call. Slightly slower. Or B, prefetch, include all detailed summary in the 50 movie response, zero wait. I think I'll go with option B, just so that we don't have multiple calls since it's free and we don't reach the limits quickly. It even said I'd recommend option B. That's nice. One big call up front, instant pop-up claim. Great. Things we will still need before building store. That's fine. I knew this. Server function, turn stack starts, the mapper service. If you know, as noted from your Gemini conversation. Okay. Yep. Confirmed plan summary. Server function calls, Gemini wants all this. Okay. Parallel TMDB calls, enrich. Okay. Front end renders 12 at a time, load more. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with everything it's saying. So let's just say I agree. Now let's Claude Code cook. All right, so now it's building. Because we've already gone through what it's going to do, I'm not going to delay by clicking allow once. I'm going to say always allow for things like this. So if I see things that I know I'm confident in, it's not going to break anything, I'll just say always allow so that we move quite fast. For all those who are wondering, Cloud Code subscription is $24. Yes, so that's around like, if it's 10 cities, that would be 240. But I think the dollar rates is around like 11 cities there. So give or take almost like 280, roughly 300, depending on how high or low the dollar rate goes. No, yeah, it should be like 300 and something. Yes. So you can budget around that side if you want to get yourself the pro version. Okay, it's doing things. We can also look at what it's doing in the code base actually. So you can see more things are happening. Some routes have been modified. Yeah. So if you want, you can take your time and actually study the code. It can help you to learn new things you haven't used before. Because honestly, I haven't used the turn stack stats before, so that will be interesting to understand. Um, yeah, yeah, I've used this before. All right, so it's done. It's cooked for us. So now let's get the API keys, the Gemini API key and also the TMDB API key. Okay, I think I logged in a while back, so I still have my, yeah, I've been logged in automatically. So if you don't have an account, please, yeah, just go through the sign up flow and you should be fine. Now we can get our Gemini API key from our AI Studio. So you can go to aistudio.google.com. You can log in, then you can get your Gemini API key. So you go here to create API key. You can create a project if you have a project already. So this one, let's call it. All right, so our project is being created. Yeah, so the project is created. Now, our API key, I'm just, what should I call it? Yeah, you can use any name actually because we are not going to use the name in the code or the application anyway. So any name should be fine. So this is a API key. Obviously, I'm not going to let you see. So now we have everything set up. So looking at what Cloud Code did, if you remember, it ran some stuff. So it ran um, npm run dev to get the stuff. So it did the full test. So now let's go to the application and see what it did for us. Okay, now we are here. Let's say we want to watch action superhero movies. Let's see the type of movies it comes up with. Hopefully this works. Oosh. Okay, 4 to 9. You exceeded your current quota and shoot. Yes, so I think I've done too many things with Gemini recently, so I'm out of tokens. So let me just replenish my tokens quickly, then we'll get back to it. Okay, so now I've set up the billing for API key, so we should be able to use the system now. So let's try any of these ones. Let's see what horror gives us. Okay, so we get an error. This is no longer available. Please update your code to use a newer, latest one. Okay, so we got this error. Let's feed it back into Cloud Code and see what we get. All right, so it says it's updated. So we should try again. So let's see. Hopefully it works this time. Drum roll. Okay, the fact is taking longer this time. It means it's actually working. So let's see what it comes back with. Okay, the fact is taking longer this time. Okay, so we have results, so let's see what it comes back with. All right, so it gives us the Exorcist. I've heard of this movie, Charlie. Okay, so we have should results, everyone. It's all right. So it gives us the personally, I think it's
Exorcist.
not I've heard of this
Good to
movie,
watching horror
Charlie.
movies and just making yourself scared.
But yeah, we now have a AI movie night recommendation system. So I'm assuming the TMDB didn't have the images, so we didn't get that. That's fine. So we have the AI's take on it. We have the summary. Yeah, so this is what we have. Simple, no code, just using AI to prompt. We use Gemini, we use Lovable, and we use Cloud Code. We had to pay for Gemini because of how our prompt was. So if you want to keep it simple, maybe go with just one movie. I think that should work. But if not, you can go with the billing in Gemini. You have to have or put a minimum of $10, which is approximately, if the dollar is 111 point something, that should be maybe 11 something. Yeah, so let's say approximately 120. Yeah. So if you do that, at least you can test and yeah, we have this. So I can even publish this if I wanted, but personally, I like to fix the image issue first, and among other things, maybe have a light mode. Not everyone likes dark mode. I personally like dark mode. So we used Gemini to refine our prompts, which went to Lovable, and within Lovable, we got a wonderful UI. Then we ported that to our GitHub, and then got it on our local machine, and from there used Cloud Code to then implement the rest. And we literally did not touch the code at all. I mean, we didn't make any change. Obviously, we touched it to look at it, but we didn't make any code changes whatsoever. And that's how powerful AI has gotten these days. You can even do more crazier things, but this is just one of the things that AI is able to let us do. Yeah, so from here we can modify it into any other form. Let's try one more prompt. I'm not a big fan of horror movies, so let's see who wants sci-fi drama movies. Okay, so I've refined the prompts. So I'm imagining here with people who don't like bloody movies. You can refine the prompt to have this. Then the AI would go do its job and come back. So right now it's thinking and has this nice temporary view here so that people know that something's actually happening. So let's give it a few minutes. All right, with the help of movie magic, we are back. Sorry, we have Inception. I've heard of this movie it's very nice, but I haven't watched it before. Edge of Tomorrow, Minority Report. Don't to have heard of it, I haven't watched it. Tenet, I have watched this movie. You have to watch. You have to watch Tenet. Tenet is a very crazy movie. Avatar, well, everybody has watched this. Source Code. Oblivion. Yeah, these are really interesting movies. So yeah, so let me know what you think about this, and that's all for this particular project. Yeah, you can further on, or what am I saying? You can further this project as you want. Yeah, you've seen the steps we took. You can take the same steps. You get very similar results, and you can even make it better. All right. So I hope you learned something. Yeah, so I hope you like this kind of content. I usually don't do this kind of stuff. So let me know in the comment section below if you like things like this and you want to see more. And also let me know in case you want me to build something that interests you more. To me, I really love movies and this was an issue that I was facing. So that's why I wanted to do this. So let me know what you think and catch you in the next one. Till our next comment, happy coding.